Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the barn. Downtown Minneapolis, University of Minnesota Golden Gophers playing host to the visiting Oregon Ducks, new Big Ten opponent, playing for just the 9th time in both programs' history. Jack Bartlett joined alongside Tim Serb. Exciting matchup here. Gophers get another tough opponent after back-to-back wins against Michigan and Iowa, and they've got their work cut out for them against number 15 in the Ducks.
Yeah, Oregon comes in. They've been an up-and-down team, but they've gotten some really good wins against now number 4 Alabama earlier in the season at the Las Vegas Invitational. And they've got some other solid wins, but they've had some really bad losses as well, notably to Illinois. They lost by 32 at home, Jack. But the Ducks come in. They've won 4 of their last 5 in the Big Ten, coming off an 11-point win over Washington on Tuesday. And it'll be an interesting matchup here tonight.
Looking forward to it, and this Golden Gopher basketball team finally has some momentum in the positive direction. Started out the season 0-5 in Big Ten play. Then, of course, the Dawson Garcia buzzer beater called by the man to my left, Tim Serb, in overtime to beat number 20 Michigan. Then went to Iowa last game and ended up winning there for the first time since 2015 in what should have been an easy victory for the Gophers. They were up 17 with just over 5 minutes left, but Iowa cut it to 3 points at one point in the game, and the Golden Gophers were just able to hang on down the stretch. Femi Odekale had a couple clutch free throws, and the Gophers were able to take that one from the Hawkeyes. But, Tim, looking at the Ducks roster, they've got 3 guys who average over 10 points a game, and they can hurt you from beyond the arc and inside the arc. Notably, Nate Biddle, their 7-foot center, has been a great stronghold for them this season.
Yeah, and Biddle, who we were watching in warm-ups, he's got similar shooting form to Karl Anthony Towns, really, but he's just a humongous presence out there on the court. He's joined with his smaller guard, Jackson Shellstad. They make a really good 1-2 combo for the Ducks that has been just absolutely lethal here in Big Ten play. And the other guy averaging over 10, TJ Bamba, 6'5" senior from the Bronx. It's been a very good presence offensively for them as well.
So the Ducks come in at 16-3. They, like Tim said, 82-71 win against Washington. And then their losses are all against ranked teams. But for the Ducks, it doesn't get much easier. Later on this season, they play 4 consecutive games against teams that are ranked or may well find themselves ranked in Purdue, Wisconsin, Maryland, and Michigan, I believe. And so this is a must-win for the Ducks program against a weaker opponent in the Golden Gophers, but the student section has shown their support for the Golden Gophers' recent success. It's Throwback Day here from Minnesota, also Egg and Food Day, so the Gophers will be wearing their throwback yellow jerseys with Golden Gophers in a circle around each player's number, and Oregon's even got a throwback UO logo on the scoreboard as well.
Yeah, it's certainly a jersey matchup for the ages out there today. The Gophers with their beautiful gold jerseys. I was hoping Oregon had their throwbacks as well, but it looks like they're going to go with their normal greens.
If the Golden Gophers are going to win this game, it's going to come down to a handful of players, but mostly it's Dawson Garcia. He's averaging 19 points a game, 7.5 rebounds, has really heated up from beyond the arc. He struggled at points earlier this year and earlier in his career with consistent three-point shooting. He's finally starting to find that stroke, and I think defensively is what's really impressed me about Garcia. Being an undersized guy at 6'11", 234, he at times would get bodied out of the way down low, and especially when he was playing in the 5 spot for the Gophers, was really struggling against some of the bigger centers in Big Ten play. But this season he's really shored up defensively, and with help from 0-0 Frank Mitchell, they've been able to play well underneath the rim, especially in that Michigan game against those 2 7-footers.
Yeah, and Garcia in that Michigan game, he had 3 steals early in the first half, which really set the tone, not just for him himself, but for the entire Gopher defense, really firing them up. Got Lakai Patterson and Isaac Osama diving around the court. And just that Gophers defense was able to be physical against a team who is really good at offense. And here comes today another really good offensive team in Oregon, averaging 78 points a game. And that Gophers defense is going to need to show up.
And I would especially look for Femi Odekale to continue his hot streak. He had 15, I believe, in the win over Iowa. had, like I said, a couple clutch free throws down the stretch, shot well from beyond the arc. But for Odakale and really for the rest of this Golden Gopher team, they're going to need to shoot the free throws well. That's been a point of contention throughout this season early on, especially the double overtime loss against Ohio State where they shot just 44% from the field. I think it was 12 for 26. So going forward and really continuing in Big Ten play, that's something that Ben Johnson's squads have really struggled in this season, and they shot well enough against Michigan and Iowa to give themselves a chance. But if they are not shooting well, Oregon's players, especially down the stretch, if they find themselves ahead, can feel comfortable with sending the Gophers to the charity stripe.
Yeah, and like you just said, free throws, free throws, free throws. In that win against Michigan, Garcia went to the line with about 30 seconds left. Gophers were down by 2. He could not miss either one of them or the Gophers would lose. And he came up really clutch, made both of them look cool as a cucumber out there, really, and just set the tone for what was going to come in overtime. The Gophers, if I remember, only missed one free throw in overtime, and it was Lakai Patterson at the end that Michigan was able to get down the court, tie it, and then Garcia obviously won that game. But for the most part, the Gophers look much more composed as of late, as they did earlier in the season. As, oh man, the fan almost made the half-court shot before the game.
At the end, almost a buzzer beater, similar to Dawson Garcia, just a couple feet behind him from the half-court line. I think one guy that I'm looking for to step up is Mike Mitchell. He's been really cold from beyond the arc in his past couple games. He's averaging double digits, 11.8 on the season, but if he's not heating up from beyond the arc and getting into foul trouble like he has in the past couple games, his effectiveness is seriously limited. And on playing against Shellstad especially, Shellstad stands at only 6 foot 180, so he's a really speedy guard, similar to Elijah Hawkins, who the Golden Gophers lost to Texas Tech in the offseason. He shoots a lot better than Hawkins does, but Mike Mitchell's got some height and also a bit of weight on Shellstad, so maybe using that driving ability and getting to the rim as a shooting guard will help out this Golden Gopher offense to be more well-rounded. I think this game's not going to be won and lost from beyond the arc, but the Golden Gophers could really do with a 35 to 40% from beyond three-point range, given that their season average is just 32%.
Yeah, and Mike Mitchell, I mean, he came off that injury in December, hasn't been playing very consistently, but had a great game against Michigan with 20 points. I like to see him get those isolation looks toward the wings and be able to hit his step-back signature three, because once he gets that heated up, it is hard to stop him.
I think another guy to look forward to for the Golden Gophers is Parker Fox. His starting role has kind of diminished in weeks past. He has been starting games consistently, but hasn't been seeing much action, and especially hasn't been scoring a whole lot. We know Parker Fox is kind of the Energizer Bunny for this Golden Gopher lineup, is able to ignite the crowd with a rim rack and dunk, but lately he just hasn't had those drive to the rim opportunities, and he's not a great three-point or free throw shooter, so he's got to do some damage from inside the paint today and get back on the score sheet. He's just averaging 6.8 points per game in his last season in the maroon and gold.
Yeah, and it's been interesting to see how his role has changed and switched throughout this season. Normally he's just inside, but teams have been able to just send a bigger guy in there, and there's not much he can do about it. I mean, he had that one highlight poster dunk, but other than that, most of the bigs in the Big Ten will really stop him. But what I've seen is really just the impact of Frank Mitchell instead. Being 6'8", 260 pounds, just a bigger presence in there at the center position, able to relieve Dawson Garcia of having to play the 5 and allowing him to work toward the edges of the three-point line. But I think you're right. Parker Fox, I really would like to see a good performance out of him. He had a couple good 10-plus point performances on really, really efficient shooting, and that's really what the Gophers could use against a team like Oregon.
And something that Oregon's going to look to do is to disrupt the Golden Gopher defense by coming out with pace. And that's something that Tim noted pregame. Michigan had been doing so well at that. They had been the best field goal percentage team in the nation with those 2 7-footers, and they'd been doing it so quickly that other teams didn't have time to get set defensively, and they were just able to play two-man game. We saw that down the stretch in the Michigan game even, where one of them would set a pick up high, Golden Gopher defense would get behind them, and then they'd get downhill, drive right to the rack, and have an easy 2 points. But Big Ten basketball is defined by quick transition plays and trying to catch the defense on their heels, and that's where this Golden Gopher defense really struggles, is against teams that can push the floor and move the floor effectively because they can't set up their defense. Even their offense is much more methodical than most of the teams in the Big Ten. So if they want to play good defense against Oregon, they're going to have to be comfortable switching on most of the matchups, and I think that's especially going to be tough against Nate Biddle when the majority of the Golden Gopher starting lineup outside of Dawson Garcia is no taller than 6'6".
Yeah, and like you just mentioned there, the offense of the Gophers, lately they've been going with 5 wide beyond the arc, which has been working honestly pretty well. I mean, the Gophers put up 84 points. Granted, it was overtime against Michigan, and they had that lead against Iowa. It's just like being able to spread the floor, being able to have that space inside to make those cuts and get somebody open is just going to be crucial, especially with Biddle in there. He's just going to want to sit low on somebody. You can get those open looks toward the outside if he's sitting there.
So that's about it for our pregame show. We'll come back about 7 minutes before we get underway. We'll come back with about 4 minutes, give you the starting lineups and the keys to the game for both teams as we get ready for action from the barn. Jack Bartlett and Tim Serb, you're listening to Radio K Sports, Real Sports Radio. Back here from the barn, about 3.5 minutes to go before the game. Tim, you did a bountiful harvest of pregame research. What are your keys to the game if the Golden Gophers want to take down another ranked opponent and win their 3rd Big Ten game in a row?
Yeah, I've got 3 keys to the game today. Number 1 is going to be defense. The Gophers forced 13 turnovers against Michigan. Most of them were in the first half. They will need to be just as efficient and aggressive defensively as they were last Thursday if they want to get Oregon's offense out of whack. Another crucial aspect is going to be scoring off of said turnovers, which the Gophers really struggled with in the Michigan game, only going on one really big run. It was 10-0 that got the game tied in the second half. Second key is going to be offensive efficiency. The Gophers will need to capitalize on more offensive possessions, either getting to the free throw line or being able to get those wide open 2-point looks just to get points on the board, as they've been taking just average 3-point shooting as of lately. And then the third key is really going to be being physical, as we mentioned earlier in the pregame show. Against Michigan, Dawson Garcia was driving in on Danny Wolf and Vlad Golden unafraid, and just a lot of the other Gophers were just going off that lead. Lakai Patterson and Isaac Osama playing some stellar defense. Those are my keys to the game for the Gophers.
Love those keys. I think I'd add one to that for the Golden Gophers. Get some production from a guy who doesn't average double figures. They've got 3 starters, Mitchell, Patterson, and Garcia, in double figures, but if you're going to beat this Oregon team who also has 3 guys in double figures, you're going to have to get production from somebody off the bench, whether that's Frank Mitchell, whether that's Isaac Osama maybe even playing a larger role, or maybe even Brendan Rigsby against his former team. He started 13 games for the Ducks last season, averaged 6 points in those games, so maybe Ben Johnson goes with the guy who knows this Oregon team a little better than the rest of the squad as well, gives him some extra playing time and a chance to get revenge against his former team.
Yeah, and Osama's been the one who's been coming off the bench for the Gophers, playing most of that Michigan game. Rigsby's just found his role being diminished as the season has gone on. He was starting earlier in the season, but was not doing well from beyond the arc. He's still been playing. Had some good quality minutes in the Iowa game, so I'm interested to see who Ben Johnson goes with here.
So starting lineup for the visiting Oregon Ducks. Jackson Shellstad wears number 3. He'll be a guard. TJ Bamba, another guard, wears number 5. Then Jadrian Tracy, number 2. Brandon Angel, forward, number 21. And the center, number 32, Nate Biddle. Who do the Gophers have?
Yeah, for the Gophers, they're going to have Mike Mitchell, number 2, guard. Femi Otakali, Lukai Patterson, Dawson Garcia, and Parker Fox starting for the Gophers.
45 seconds to go. The rest of the crowd has shown up very well for this game. Student section is packed just about to capacity, to the point where we can't see it from our vantage point up here in the broadcast booth. Otherwise, I'd give stands 75, maybe even 80% full. The lower bowl is almost completely filled with Golden Gopher fans trying to rile up their team as they found some recent success, and with the hockey team dropping a clunker last night to Michigan State 9-3, having something to hang your hat on as a Golden Gopher fan would be great heading into the rest of this weekend.
Yeah, you definitely don't want the hockey team to go out again and put out a real clunker, but
we will take a break for the national anthem. It's being performed this afternoon by high school choir. Performed by the visiting Owatonna High School Choir as the students turn back towards the court. And we're just about ready for game time from downtown Minneapolis. The Barn playing host to the Oregon Ducks. I'll hand it over to Tim to get us started with the first half of the first half.
The first half of the first half. For those NBA fans out there, the Wolves are up 11 on the Denver Nuggets at halftime. You know, we've been following that for the entire pregame.
Boy, and what this win especially, because so many Golden Gopher fans have been pessimistic about Ben Johnson's coaching tenure, especially starting out 0-5 this year. Finally, they get some momentum, winning back-to-back games. And this is where this team's mettle is really going to be tested. Tim and I both discussed on the way here, this game, or this style of game where the Golden Gophers finally have some basketball momentum back in their favor, has typically been the one that they struggle the most in, where there's expectations garnered from fans new and old. That's where they typically falter, and I think for Ben Johnson, this is a game that you have to, at bare minimum, get close at the end.
Yeah, and just the way the Gophers played against Michigan, the crowd really was not that full. The student section, most of the students were not back because it was still winter break, so it felt like they were playing just fearless out there. Just like they knew they could win that game. They kept it somewhat close at halftime and were able to storm back and just take that one away. And you just hope that the players just believe that they can win this game. Oregon comes in as number 15, but that should not matter at all. The Gophers have proved that they can beat good teams and stick with good teams. So I'm interested to see how they come out here in this first half.
Oregon opens as 5.5-point favorites in the game, so that's respecting Minnesota's recent performance. The over-under sits at 137.5. Golden Gopher starting lineups being announced here. We already gave them to you beforehand, but we'll give a bit more highlights on each player. First onto the floor is Mike Mitchell, the 6'2" senior guard from San Jose, California, transferred here from Pepperdine, and is averaging 11 points per game.
Up next, number 25, Lakai Patterson, the transfer in from Charlotte this year, from Minneapolis.
Up next is Femi Odakale, 6'6" senior from Brooklyn, New York, transferred from New Mexico State University this season.
Up next, number 23, Parker Fox, the senior out of Matamidi.
And finally, leading scorer for the Golden Gophers, 19.1 points per game, number 3, Dawson Garcia from Savage, Minnesota, 6'11" senior, and previously played with the North Carolina Tar Heels. Actually won a national championship with them, even though he didn't see much playing time as a freshman. Transferred here and has really been the focal point of this Minnesota Gopher team for the last season and a half, call it.
Yeah, and it really looks like he's just stepped into his role. As last season, it was much to be left to be desired. So he wasn't really that number one option all the time. But as of late, he's just really cemented himself as the star on this team, having 27 and 12 in that Michigan win. A huge performance from him.
Those throwback uniforms look beautiful, the golden tops and golden shorts. Oregon opposes with all green visiting uniforms with yellow numbers as both teams huddle up and get ready to go.
Both teams getting ready to go here. Looks like it's going to be Garcia and Biddle for the tip-off.
The battle between Biddle and Dawson Garcia is going to be a fun one. Both taller, lankier guys. I imagine the post-up, back downs, and even both of them have range that we saw in warm-ups from Biddle and that we've seen from Dawson Garcia in the past. It's a high-flying matchup between the two guys who stand just about at the same height.
Ref comes in. The fans are ready. The players are ready, and Minnesota wins the tip. Lakai Patterson will bring it up the court for the Gophers. Over to Mike Mitchell on the wing. He'll swing it over to Odakali. Patterson toward the top of the key. Now to the right wing. Off to Garcia. Swings it over to Mitchell. Back to Garcia. Pump fakes the three. Drives inside. Takes a fadeaway two. Gets it to go.
Good start, Dawson Garcia on the 10-foot jumper.
Gets it to go over Brandon Angel as Oregon will bring it up the court with Shellstad. Swing it over to Tracy. Guarded closely by Mitchell. Now dribbles up the court. Over on the right wing now, working on Garcia. Biddle now working on Parker Fox toward the top of the key. 7 left on the shot clock for the Ducks. They'll swing it over. Tracy for three, way off. And the Gophers get the ball.
Excellent defensive start there from the Golden Gophers, switching on a lot.
Patterson now toward the right side of the court. Swings it up toward the right wing for Mike Mitchell. Back to Patterson. Parker Fox with the screen. He's going to play off it. Goes with the mid-range. Way over. Parker Fox gets it, though. Driving in on, looks like Brandon Angel. Gets the second attempt to go. Parker Fox, as you mentioned earlier, you wanted to see him get inside, get those tough buckets, and looks like he's up to the task here early.
Wanted a foul on the first drive.
TJ Bamba driving in on Garcia. Looks like they're going to call a foul on Patterson. Fans wanted to travel there as he tried to drive inside and get the ball up for a layup. So it'll be an inbound here for the Ducks.
Yeah, it looked like Bamba just kind of fell over, was leaning on Patterson, and Patterson vacated him.
And they get the inbound into Brandon Angel, and he gets the and one to go. They're going to call that on Parker Fox.
It's another thing you can't do against this Oregon squad. They shoot 75% from the line as a team. And getting your players into foul trouble is going to wring Ben Johnson's hands as to what he can do later in the game.
Yeah, 2 early fouls here for the Gophers. Well, maybe 2 early fouls here for the Gophers. 2 called as Angel will take the free throw and makes it 4-3 ball game. 18-17 to go here in the first half. Odakali will take the inbound from Patterson. Marches up the floor. Top of the key to Parker Fox, reset the offense. Swings it over to Mike Mitchell on the right. He'll take a top of the key 3, and it's good. Mike Mitchell heating up early. TJ Bamba taking the 3 now, won't go. Rebounded by Odakali, and the Gophers will swing it up the court. Mike Mitchell off to Parker Fox, gets the slam. Jadrian Tracy was there, but Parker Fox with enthusiasm, and the Gophers take an early 6-point lead here, 9-3.
That's what I said. Parker Fox is the Energizer Bunny for this crew. Students are into it, fans are into it. We're getting hype.
Inside to Biddle, working on Garcia. Tough 2, doesn't go. Good defense by Garcia. Odakali will take the rebound. This is where the Gophers want to go here, get an early run. Garcia toward the left wing. He'll take a 3 over Biddle. Gets it to go! 12-3, and the fans are hyped up here at the barn. 3 minutes in, and the Gophers have a 9-point lead, 12-3. Shellstad will try and slow it down here for the Ducks. He's now on Garcia toward the top of the key. Swings it over to Angel. Biddle inside. Driving in, passes it to Jadrian Tracy, who gets the layup to go over Odakali. Ducks stopping that run from the Gophers, who have made their last 4 shots. Mike Mitchell now with it toward the right wing. Going to swing it over to Odakali. A little behind the back move. Mike Mitchell, right wing 3. Good! Mike Mitchell is feeling it here early, and the Gophers are up 15-5. 5 for their last 5 from the field, and that's exactly the start the Gophers wanted. As TJ Bamba throws it away. Parker Fox, he wanted someone down low, but there was no one there for the Ducks, and the Gophers get another opportunity to stack it on here early.
This has been an offensive clinic by the Golden Gophers. Just clean shot making when you get an open look. Just throw it up.
Dawson Garcia driving in inside on Biddle, passes it over to Fox. They're going to call the foul on Biddle, and Parker Fox will go to the line.
Really good pass there by Dawson Garcia. Looked like he wanted a layup, dished it off to Parker Fox, drew a foul. The entire crowd standing and applauding this Golden Gopher start. We'll head to a timeout.
15:56 left, 15-5 Gophers. This is Radio K Sports. Welcome back to Williams Arena here in downtown Minneapolis as the Gophers have blitzed out to a 15-5 lead against these number 15 Oregon Ducks. Jack, what have you seen so far?
It's been transition play from the Golden Gophers, strong defense, and then hitting your three-pointers. Mike Mitchell, 2 for 2. The Gophers are 3 for 3 overall. Into the game now for the Oregon Ducks is Keyshawn Barthelemy, as Parker Fox will shoot 2 from the line.
Parker Fox, not known as a great free throw shooter, shooting around if not under 50% on the season, as he makes the first. Into the game for the Gophers is Isaac Osama. Makai Patterson will take a break.
Something the Gophers really struggled with was making the first free throw and missing the second one, especially in that Iowa game.
As he drills the second one. Oregon will try to reset their offense here, get something going. It's be Shellstad on the top, working on Garcia toward the top of the key. Swings it over to Tracy. Tries to get it down low to Biddle. It's taken away by Fox. They've been missing that connection early as Parker Fox tries to get a good transition, but the pass gets blocked. Wanted Mike Mitchell with an open three. And Odakali now has it at the top of the key. He's going to drive to the left to take a pull-up and gets it to go. Femi Odakali. Man, he's come into his own offensively as of late.
15-2 run for the Gophers.
It's Brandon Angel now driving in on Parker Fox. Swings it out to Barthelemy. Into Angel again, working on Parker Fox. Gets the move. They're going to call a foul on Parker Fox, much to the dismay of the fans. And Brandon Angel will go to the line yet again.
Second personal for Parker Fox already, and that'll bring the bench out. Trey Edmonds will come on the floor.
Yeah, and that's definitely a foul on Parker Fox. He's wondering how they could have called that, but swats the arm as he tries to do a little spin move on Parker Fox and get the shot over him. First free throw is in and out as Edmonds comes in now.
Interesting to see Edmonds on the floor for the Golden Gophers. He doesn't average much time this season, and maybe Ben Johnson likes the matchup more than Frank Mitchell.
And he was in that Michigan game in the first half, getting some good quality minutes. Great defense down low. The second free throw was good from Angel, so now it's 19-6, Gophers. Oregon will full court press here with 15 minutes left in the first half. Gophers get transition. Mike Mitchell with the pump fake on Biddle. Ozema almost knocked away. Odakali gets it back, and the Gophers will reset with 17 on the shot clock. Odakali, another mid-range, gets it to go. Odakali loves that pull-up shot here early, and the Gophers extend their lead to 15 here.
These mid-range pull-up opportunities from Odakali do wonders as Ducks got caught in transition defense, and Gophers were able to stay home really well.
Shellstad toward the top of the key, gets a screen from Biddle. Isaac Osma working on him defensively, drives inside, gets the lay to go. What a good move from Shellstad.
Really good two-man game there with Biddle. Couple back-to-back screens. Biddle rolled and he looked like he was open, but used Biddle as a back screen and drove to the lane for an easy layup.
Odakali now towards the right wing, just inside the three-point line. He'll shovel it off to Isaac Osama. Trey Edmonds now on the top of the key. Mike Mitchell toward the left wing. Gets a three up. It's not going to be good. The Ducks get the rebound. Shellstad now running up the court. Denied by Odakali. Mike Mitchell working on him now. Tracy toward the right, swing around all the way to Barthélemy. Inside to Biddle. Working on Odakali. Can't get the lay to go, and the Gophers get the ball back. Heck of a defensive stop there by Odakali. Just getting inside, not afraid of the 7-footer. Mike Mitchell now inside to Edmonds. Little dribble, gives it inside to Garcia, working on Tracy, gets the two to go over him. That's the mismatch the Gophers are going to want inside. If Garcia's not on Biddle, he has a severe advantage against the Ducks. As Shellstad throws it off Odakali's foot. The former Oregon Duck, now Brendan Rigsby, is going to come in for the Gophers. Odakali's going to take a quick rest.
Shellstad and Kwame Evans Jr. in for the Ducks, as well as Raheem Moss. So the Ducks just kind of searching for some offensive spark and some defensive stops, shifting around their starting lineup quite a bit here early on.
Biddle gets the inbound. Now it's Shellstad toward the left, near half court. Biddle at the top of the key, working on Garcia. Hands it off to Raheem Moss. Looks like Kwame Evans with the three from the left wing, and it won't go. The Gophers get the rebound, up 15 as we cross the 13-minute mark in the first half. Edmonds with it at the top of the key, gives it to Mike Mitchell. Isaac Osma now driving in on Biddle. Doesn't want that one, swings it back to Rigsby. Edmonds will reset the offense with 10 and counting on the shot clock. Mike Mitchell driving in on three guys. Dawson Garcia from the left wing for three. Gets it to go. Dawson Garcia is 2 for 2 from the three-point line here early. That's exactly what you want to see out of him. Heating up from outside the arc.
And if you're the Gophers, put this game out of reach early on. Answer back.
Barthélemy from the top of the key gets the three to go. That's definitely what Oregon needed to stay in this game here early.
It's the first three-pointer made by the Ducks so far.
Mitchell with a little handoff from Osama. Inside, Edmonds gets inside. Can't get to the lay to go, but he will go to the line. They're going to call that foul on Kwame Evans Jr. Edmonds went down the lane with force there. Wanted the emphatic slam, but Evans was there.
Second foul on the Ducks. First for Evans.
Edmonds gets the ball at the line now. So he will have 2 free throws here coming up with 12:05 left in the first half. First one rattles in and out.
Just a 35% free throw shooter on the season. 11 for 32.
Nate Biddle for the Ducks will take a rest as they bring in Supreme Cook.
Excellent name. Excellent basketball name.
And Dawson Garcia come out for the Gophers. They're going to bring in
Caden Betts.
Caden Betts, number 4. Edmonds' second free throw is up and good. The Gophers extend their lead to 16, 27-11 as we cross the 12-minute mark here in the first half. Shellstad bringing it up. Barthélemy working on Mike Mitchell. He's going to drive inside, gets the lay, in and out. Rebound Edmonds. The Gophers will have a chance to add to this monumental lead here early on number 15, Oregon.
The Gophers' defensive rebounding has been really good. The box outs and closeouts and just winning battles to loose balls has really impressed me early on here as well.
Mike Mitchell from the right wing, way off, air ball. So he got around a screen. And there will be a timeout on the floor with 11:34 left. Gophers leading 27-11. You're listening to Radio K Sports.
Welcome back to the barn. Jack Bartlett, Tim Serve alongside you on Radio K Sports. Gophers up 27-11 on a hot start. 10 for 15 from the field, 4 for 6 from beyond the arc. They've been playing good defense, turning that into great offense, and have gotten off to their best start I've seen them have this season, really at all.
Yeah, the Gophers have just by far exceeded my expectations for early on in this game. I don't know what they saw in Oregon's defense, but Ben Johnson had something cooking here early.
The sustained momentum of this Golden Gopher basketball team is a key. You can't start out on up 16 early on in the game and then get complacent like Mike Mitchell has taken a couple maybe ill-advised three-pointers after starting out 2 for 2 from beyond the arc, and he airballed the last one. You can't get complacent. You can't kind of revert back into old habits, but letting the starters rest now up a couple points might be a good idea. Barthélemy starts it out for the Ducks. They'll swing it to the close side for Evans. Back to Barthélemy. Wanted a 3. Faked Okale out. Now passed down low. Backs his man down, and that's going to be an offensive foul. Goes against Supreme Cook for a reach around. I think on defense there for the Golden Gophers was Trey Edmonds. And he shouldered him aside and brought his hand behind his back to avoid the pressure. Odekale in the full court press will try and alleviate some pressure, gets it out to Rigsby. Across the timeline. Stops on the block M, guarded by Barthélemy. Frank Mitchell into the game for the Golden Gophers. And a foul picked up here by Oregon's number 0, Raheem Moss, as he tripped up Lakai Patterson on a cut.
And Dawson Garcia and Frank Mitchell in the game for the Gophers now. Frank Mitchell, another big guy. I mean, I was impressed with Edmonds' minutes here early, but Frank Mitchell was absolutely eating against Michigan, just shoving those 7-footers aside. That's exactly who you want to be able to get in some offensive rebounds, as the Gophers will inevitably start missing shots here soon.
Odekale drives inside the 2-point line, had to kick it out after he lost his dribble, gives it to Patterson. 5 on the shot clock. Patterson trying to come up with something inside the arc, passes it. Odekale hucks up a prayer, almost in off the window, and the Ducks come up with the rebound. Driving in is TJ Bamba to the rack, and it's going to be on the floor. Made the shot. That won't count. Fouls against Rigsby, his first, team's 4th.
In that last possession, that's almost one of the keys to the game that I had last time, was not wasting possessions. Like, you get all the way down in the shot clock and then you have no open shot. Just being able to use those 30 seconds way more wisely, just to get at least something manageable up to try and get some points.
Both teams with 4 fouls. Barthélemy drives in and kicks it out. Drive in by Bamba again. The right hand rattles out. Garcia offensive rebound, or defensive rebound for the Golden Gophers. Odekale brings it up. Long 2-pointer for Odekale, misses that one, and Barthélemy gets the rebound. That's the first time Odekale has missed from the floor.
That's the confidence I'd like to see from him. It seems like he's been hesitant to take shots earlier in the season, but not anymore.
Rigsby got caught in the air, and left-handed layup from Supreme Cook drops. That decreases the lead for the Golden Gophers to 14. Odekale spins out of a screen, now to Garcia. Gives it to Patterson beyond the arc, trying to work with Garcia in a 2-man game. Lost the ball behind his back, taken away by TJ Bamba, driving the paint, odd man rush, and layup was missed. Wide open layup is blown by Kwame Evans, and Garcia is happy to gobble up the rebound.
That's a missed opportunity there from the Ducks to try and get a little bit of momentum, and Minnesota very lucky that he missed that layup.
Odekale inside the arc, posting up. Looked like he wanted a shot in the paint, double teamed in the paint, kicks out Garcia for 3, off the front of the rim, and rebounded by the Ducks, and Frank Mitchell's gonna pick up a loose ball foul as he bumped TJ Bamba after he got the rebound. 5th foul for the Golden Gophers.
And the Ducks defense saw Odekale getting inside and getting those easy 2s, and they decided to swallow him up with 2 defenders here early. Leaves Garcia open for a pretty good 3. Just goes off the front of the rim there.
9 minutes left in half number 1. Barthélemy brings it up. Swings for TJ Bamba, who's been hot as of late. Barthélemy from beyond the arc. That's good. Keyshawn Barthélemy, the Quebec-Montreal native and Colorado transfer, cuts the lead to 11. Ducks starting to heat up and get their offense rolling. Gophers need an answer back. Frank Mitchell stands alone beyond the 3-point arc, swings for Odekale. Inside, in the paint, driving, left-hand shot is no good. Rebound taken by Brandon Angel, and Odekale is slow to get up behind the play. Drive in, and an easy right-handed layup from TJ Bamba goes in, and the Ducks have cut the lead down to 9. Ben Johnson wants timeout. Odekale was slow to get up. Edwards goes over to check on him as he gets back in the play. Trainers will look at his condition as well, but you had to expect this response from the Oregon Ducks.
Yeah, and this is just, to me, sloppy offense by the Gophers. Just, like I said again, just wasting the shot clock. Odekale trying to get inside on 2, if not 3 defenders and just completely smokes the layup and ends up getting hurt on the play. But just not being able to get those open looks or even swing the ball around to even try and get an open look. Just trying to play isolation. More selfish play, which is not what you want to see, especially when you're up by so many on a ranked team. They're going to take advantage of that every time.
8:14 remaining, first half. Gophers up 9 from the barn. You're listening to Radio K Sports. Welcome back to the barn. 27-18 in favor of the Golden Gophers. We noticed a pattern because they started so hot from shooting, whether it's Odakale or Mike Mitchell. They've been putting up some off-balance shots lately as Oregon will continue their full-court press.
Notably, the Gophers do not have any points in the last 3:51 and counting, which is not what you want when you get up to such a big lead.
Asima outside the three-point arc and is stolen again by TJ Bamba. He'll drive and has an easy layup. TJ Bamba has caught fire as of late and has really been an offensive force, forcing turnovers. Stands at 6'5", senior from the Bronx, transferred here from Villanova. Asima has space after the press is missed by the Ducks, but it's a 7-point lead for the Golden Gophers. Mike Mitchell inside the arc, slides a short pass for Garcia, backing down now, left-handed shot is good. Garcia with an incredible left-handed spin around against Brandon Angel, gets it to fall, and the Gophers finally get out of the scoring drought.
That was utterly beautiful, going toward the end line.
Barthélemy down low and blocked by Isaac Asima on the Supreme Cook dunk. What a play by the Cherry, Minnesota native. Garcia looked like he wanted a three, will pull up and gives it to Mitchell. Mitchell has a defender on his back. His two-pointer short off the iron, and Angel has the rebound. Nate Biddle has not found his way back into the game. Now he'll go to the scorers table coming in soon, but he's been a non-factor early on. Oregon looking to outspeed the Golden Gophers with a smaller lineup. Dump down low for Cook. Drives in against Mitchell. His right hand rattles out again. Rebound Patterson. Brings it up the court. Looked like he wanted to pass down low for Frank Mitchell, who's playing the 5 spot. He'll drive in now. Passes for Mitchell. Ball is loose and turned over by the Golden Gophers.
That's now 3 quick turnovers for the Gophers. This allowed Oregon to get back into this.
Bamba is stuffed by Garcia, but gets the ball back. Three-pointer from Angel off the back iron and off the backboard and in. Shooter's bounce there for the Ducks. And we'll have a break in the action with 6 minutes to go. Ducks just down 3 on a 12-2 run over the last 3:51. We'll head to a break with 6 to go in the first. Gophers still clinging to a lead, but the Ducks starting to show some offensive momentum. You're listening to Radio K Sports. And we're back. Oregon's going to continue the full court press, which is starting to give the Minnesota offense some headaches, especially on the inbound, and now they've started letting up pressure as time goes on. Mike Mitchell outside the three-point arc, gives it to Parker Fox, who's on the floor with 2 fouls. Double screen there as Mitchell's double team. Somebody should be open. Throws it down low. Parker Fox on the blow-by, and he lays it up easily. Good vision there by Mike Mitchell. Saw the double team, and Parker Fox worked his way into the paint wide open. Angel from beyond the arc again. Missed everything. Rebound by Mike Mitchell. He'll slow things down once more. 31-23. Drives in with the right hand. Kicks out for Garcia at the point. Shake and bake. 2-pointer is good. What a move by Dawson Garcia against Biddle. Deposits a 21-footer. Leads back up to 10. And tipped away. That'll be a foul called from the referee. Fans don't like it as Barthelomew's pass was swatted out of his hands. I think that might have been Patterson.
Yeah, Lakai Patterson playing some aggressive defense. Might have been a little too aggressive there, but as we see the replay, I'm not
Garcia
quite sure. Oh, looks like
for a hold on Biddle, I think on the as Biddle pinched in to try and get a pass down low as he got underneath Garcia. 6th foul for the Golden Gophers. Ducks in the bonus now. Bartholomew swings it. Angel 3-pointer. That's good. We let Brandon Angel heat up from beyond the arc, and he's now 2 for 3. Lead is cut to 7.
Yeah, it's just those silly fouls that you really don't need. Biddle so far really been a non-factor. I mean, you don't want him to heat up, but you don't have to hold him back, make him actually earn it.
Ducks seem to be playing a bit of zone defense. Parker Fox, hot pass for Lakai Patterson. His 2-pointer from in the paint is good. Golden Gophers have really impressed me with their shooting from outside the paint and inside the arc early on here. Long 3-pointer is away off the back iron. Rebound Parker Fox. And a foul called underneath the rim by Isaac Osama.
He's again working on Biddle, and the refs are just having none of the contact here today. Much of a contrast from that Michigan game where they let a lot slide.
It was a 27, 28-footer from Keyshawn Bartholomew. And as that's the 7th foul, Biddle will head to the line and shoot a 1-and-1. Shooting away from the student section, Biddle 81%, and he misses that one. Biddle's a great free throw shooter for as big as he is, and especially the role that he plays. 81%'s a great number, but he misses the front end of a 1-and-1.
Almost a ball don't lie moment.
Mitchell to Parker Fox. He open cut to the rim, and he slams it home. It's the 3rd time that the Ducks have lost Parker Fox defensively on a high screen and roll, and another good find by Mitchell. Pass out, Angel drives in against Fox, playing with the 2 fouls. Scramble for it, and another foul called by the referees. That's going to go against Osama for a slap on the wrist. The 8th foul for the team, and Osama's 2nd. That's not a good call.
That was a horrific call. Osama got all of the ball there. if you're going to call anything, I think maybe Fox got it after, but that ball was free. Another thing to note, Parker Fox, you said you wanted to be a factor and you wanted someone who doesn't average double digits to get in double digits. Well, has he done that for you already? He has 10 points, and it's not even halftime.
There you go, 37-26 from the barn with 3:38 to go in half number one. Golden Gophers on top. Oregon back at the free throw line, where as a team they're just 2 for 4. As the Gophers have 8 fouls here with 3.5 to go in the first half. Nobody luckily with 3, but Fox and Osama playing with 2 apiece. Gophers already have 2 guys in double figures, Garcia with 14 and Parker Fox, like Tim mentioned earlier, with 10, as Angel will shoot the 1-and-1. Front end is good. Angel shoots 40% on the season, 16 for 40 from the line. As he cuts it to a 10-point game.
It's 3 for 4 today as well.
Awaits, lets it fly, and that one's good. Gophers up 9. Crowd quiets a bit. Inbound pass for Osama. Trying to work his way across the timeline, being hounded there by Shellstad. Gives it to Parker Fox up top. Drives in, lost the handle, and that's going to be a foul going against Nate Biddle. I think that was a little bit weak of a call. It looked like Parker Fox just kind of lost the handle, and referees will give Biddle a knock, his second.
Looks like the refs may have come straight from the NBA to ref this game.
Parker Fox was just driving along the three-point arc, and
oh, they're going to call TJ Bamba on that one. I think he reached in as he was trying to go past him and just hooks him a little bit with his arm for no reason.
Garcia inside the arc, working against Angel in the paint, throws up a prayer with the right hand, doesn't go, and Parker Fox, a hustle offensive rebound, tries to throw it away, and we'll have another foul against the Oregon Ducks.
Much to the enjoyment of the crowd, they're loving these fouls.
6th team foul. Didn't catch who that was on.
It's on Bamba again.
Garcia behind the arc. For Mitchell, short-sighted, trying to work against Barthélemy, and they get some space. 10 on the shot clock. Osama on the right side. Drives in, gives to Garcia, gives to Parker Fox underneath the rim, has to kick it out. Great ball movement. Mike Mitchell, a three. It's good! That was Lakai Patterson. I couldn't even get it out fast enough as the shot clock's expiring. What a shot by number 25.
Shot clock cheese for Lakai Patterson.
Angel the answer, and he drains it. Nicholas Angel with 9 points, actually with 12, 9 from beyond the arc. That'll quiet the crowd down, but what a ball movement play, and another foul picked up by the Ducks on a non-shooting play by Shellstad as he fouls Asama. Gophers now in the bonus, and Asama will shoot a 1-and-1.
And Oregon head coach Dana Altman is absolutely furious. He is actually on the court still yelling at his players after that foul by Shellstad.
Asama 10 for 18 from the line for 56% on the season. Will shoot a 1-and-1. And the first one rattles in. (41-31), 2:27 remaining in the first. Asama's second off the back iron and rebound by the Ducks. Both teams in the bonus. Both coaches also with 3 timeouts in their pockets. Shellstad, guarded by Garcia up top, wants to work it down low, now gives to Angel. Backing down Asama, kick out for Barthélemy. Long three-pointer, Shellstad is good. Jackson Shellstad from well beyond the arc cuts it to 7. Asama getting some serious minutes here off the bench. Gives it to Frank Mitchell. Has not scored yet. Now he feeds Patterson on the screen and roll. Patterson in and out dribble, left hand, and he's fouled. Not on the shot. That'll go against Bamba again. Or actually, not sure who that'll go against.
It'll be his second foul for Bamba. As Asama heads to the bench for Odakali, who comes back in. Good to see that he's okay.
Lakai Patterson will shoot a 1-and-1 on the season, shooting 41 of 54 for 76%. First is good. Clean make there from the Minneapolis, Minnesota native, Charlotte transfer. Shooting towards the student section. Second one again off the back iron. Rebounded by the Ducks. Missing the second one of those 2 free throws has happened a couple times, like I mentioned pregame. Shellstad drives in, tried to step back against Garcia, has to give it back to Tracy, who immediately returns to Shellstad. Shellstad drives in with speed, leaves it for Supreme Cook. Easy dunk as Mitchell was taken off the play. 42-36. Oregon not full court pressing as hard, now down 6. It's been an offensive explosion in this half. Multiple times we've almost seen the score struggle to get to 42 combined when the Golden Gophers have played. 2-pointer from Patterson is good from 18 feet just inside the arc. And the Gophers' continued strong shooting from long twos has really impressed me. Shellstad driving against Garcia, stops on a dime, and has a mismatch. Now swung around for Tracy. Guarded by Patterson, drives into the paint, left hand off the glass and good. Strong drive by the Ducks. Look to stay in this Big Ten shootout. Shot clock, game clock, about 3 seconds difference. Patterson will try and kill some of it. 22 seconds to go. Still waiting on a drive against Shellstad. He'll clear it out. Mitchell setting a high screen. Patterson still has not moved the ball, gives it to Garcia. 6 on the shot clock. He hucks up a 3 off the back iron. Rebounded by the Ducks. They'll push it forward. They don't get a shot away. And that'll be the first half. The Golden Gophers up 17 at one point, find themselves up 8, heading to the locker room 44-38.
Yeah, and that's just about as good as you could expect the first half to go score-wise, but man, you go up 16 and you let the Ducks back in. You get a little sloppy, but very good on the Gophers to keep it pretty even in the last 5-6 minutes of that half to keep that lead going into halftime.
We'll be back before the second half starts with a highlight of the first 20 and get you ready for the next 20. Jack Bartlett and Tim Serb, you're listening to Radio K Sports. Welcome back to the barn. Gophers enjoying an 8-point halftime lead, 44-38 in front of a packed barn crowd. Tim, what did the first half show you, and what were the numbers for the Maroon and Gold?
Yeah, some notable stats I'm seeing. Mike Mitchell had 6 early points on those 2 early threes, but has been 0 for 3 from the field since. Dawson Garcia with a very strong half, 14 points, 6 of 10 from the field, including 2 for 4 from beyond the arc. He also missed his last 2 threes as well. Parker Fox, surprise of the game, 10 points, 4 for 6 from the field, and 2 for 2 from the free throw line. Makai Patterson adding on another 8 for the Gophers, 3 for 4 from the field.
I think what's really impressed me, the Golden Gophers coming into the game averaging 10.5 turnovers a game, just 3 in the first half. Also, Mike Mitchell with 7 assists. He's really been dishing the rock effectively, especially when double teamed, finding Parker Fox on a couple of plays. Other than that, Gophers have survived the early whistles and didn't pick up one the last 3.5 minutes in the half, which was really, really good. Have picked up 5 offensive rebounds, all from Parker Fox, who is, like I said pregame, the Energizer Bunny and the real backbone and energy driver of this Golden Gopher team. He has 10 points and has been great.
Yeah, and other notable thing for the Gophers, they are shooting 56.7% from the field, which is over 14% higher than their average. They normally shoot about 42% from the field, and they've needed that just to stay up on this Oregon team who's been shooting 53% from the field themselves. Jadrian Tracy with 4 points, Shellstad with 5 points, although his impact seems bigger than that. But Brandon Angel, man, has he been hot. 15 points, 3 for 4 from beyond the arc. He's gone to the free throw line 5 times, made 4 of those. But what has really surprised me for this Oregon Ducks team, Nate Biddle has done almost nothing, has just an assist and 2 fouls to his name this game.
Yeah, the Gophers have really been able to limit him down low. They've played past him a couple times and even allowed him to get over the top, but Oregon's men just haven't been able to find him down low to take advantage of the 7-foot wingspan of Biddle. We saw him shooting from range. He really hasn't shown much of that early on in this game as well. But I anticipate that the Ducks and head coach Dana Altman in his 15th year, they're going to change a lot of things coming out of the half. I think their offensive tempo is going to speed up. They're going to really look for Brandon Angel, who's been their hottest shooter and really kept them in the game. As the Golden Gophers look to limit Nate Biddle and TJ Bamba, Brandon Angel can really show his stuff and shoot well from beyond the arc, finding open looks.
Yeah, and the Ducks are going to want to do most of their damage in this second half from beyond the arc. They are 6 of 11 from that area. Minnesota, on the other hand, 5 of 10, which is also about 18% above their average. So I think it's going to be whether the Gophers can keep up this offensive pace or not in this second half. I would expect Oregon not to come out as flat as they did in the beginning of the game. The Gophers not necessarily let them back in, but let them back in with a couple turnovers that just allowed Oregon's offense to fire back up.
2 minutes to go before the second half, and if you're Ben Johnson, I think the message in the locker room is don't pick up silly fouls like you did at points in the first half and play the game the way you have been playing. The Gophers moving the ball on offense, especially early on when they went up into a timeout up 27-11. We're getting transition opportunities consistently, moving the ball well on offense, getting away from Oregon's full court press, and finding open men. I think finding an open guy as Oregon tries to deal with the pick and rolls from Mitchell, from Garcia, from Fox, finding the open guy for whether that's Mike Mitchell doing it 7 times, getting assists is going to be a key in the second half. If you want to keep Oregon's defense on their heels and really lengthen those possessions by getting offensive rebounds and working hard for those hustle stats.
Yeah, and it looked like Oregon mid-half there switched to a more zone defense, almost a 3-2, just swarming the guys on the top, trying to get them trapped and make them make a pass. And it has worked for the most part. They've been able to get some steal opportunities, but the Gophers haven't been hurt too much, only those 3 turnovers. But what you'd like to see is just, like he said, finding that open man. The Gophers offense toward the end of the half, getting a little stagnant, getting a little almost stacked on top of each other, just not allowing for anyone to get open. As we approach under 30 seconds here before the second half.
I'll call the first part of this half and then hand it off to Tim to work with the latter part of the second half. But on throwback night, the Windows XP shows showing on the scoreboard, they had these awesome corduroy rope hats that have an image of Goldie Gopher dribbling a basketball on them. We were able to get one pregame as there were the first 1,000 students or 1,000 people in the stadium were given one at the start of the game, and they look great. The Golden Gopher media team has done great as Oregon gets the ball and will start possession in the second half. Angel fires across, 3-ball is away and good. Jadrian Tracy buries a corner 3 and cuts the lead to 3. Up come the Gophers. Odekale back on the floor after an injury scare in the first half. Around a Fox screen, inside the arc, now inside the paint, drives, spins, passes to Parker Fox, tries to elbow his way in, now kick out. Offense will reset, 5 on the shot clock. Garcia the drive, stuffed by Biddle. Oregon a defensive stop and a foul on Lakai Patterson on a fast break drive by Shellstad. Second for Patterson and first of the half for the Golden Gophers, and this is definitely not the start that they wanted, giving up a 3 and then taking a foul.
Yeah, not the smartest of fouls, trying to reach in and get the ball from Shellstad, but it will give the Gophers an opportunity to play some defense here.
Shellstad back for Angel, down low, up top, and Parker Fox tips it away from Nate Biddle. Another turnover for the Ducks. Gophers would love an answer back here as they find themselves up 1 possession for the first time since early on in the game. Patterson around a Fox screen. Has to dribble back outside the arc after Bomba's pressure. Tracy face guarding Mitchell, who launches a 3, well off. And rebounded by the Ducks. Shellstad across the timeline. Guarded by Odekale. Stays on him. Swings for Angel. Angel back for Bomba, who drives in against Patterson. His spin right hand finds its way in off the rim. 1-point game. Crowd trying to hype the Gophers up to get them back in it. 18:06 remaining second half, and the Golden Gophers up 1. They've got Garcia, Patterson, Fox, Mitchell, and Odekale on the floor. And Mitchell travels and turns it over.
And this, what I'm not understanding here, Jack, is why you're slowing the pace down. Like, I understand that you don't want Oregon to get up on their pace, but after that offensive explosion of a first half, the Gophers are just taking most of the shot clock, and that's really just a stupid turnover after 21 seconds of wasted time.
Oregon has a chance to take the lead. Driving in and one. Strong play from TJ Bomba as he gets the layup to fall. Foul goes against Patterson, his 3rd. He'll come out and Asima will come in. Oregon leads this ball game for the first time this afternoon, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and the Gophers typically this season have been a first half team. They were up on Wisconsin before losing to them by 21. Just a disastrous second half. You'd love to see Ben Johnson be able to calm the team down, and just be able to reset, get a couple good offensive possessions, a couple good buckets as Oregon's going to full court press here to try and throw Minnesota off some more.
Gophers with their first deficit this afternoon. How will they respond? Odekale had a 3, passes it up, drives in, shot is up. Parker Fox, another offensive rebound. Dribbles it out of harm's way. Garcia in the paint. Fakes once again, and gets the left hand to fall. Gophers on the board as Garcia gets up to 16 on the afternoon, and a loose ball foul on Otokale. He was covering Shellstad on the press, and that's 3 really quick fouls for the Golden Gophers and a lot of silly ones.
Yeah, and that's not what you want, especially against Oregon here. As every time you get a foul, you get closer to that bonus. Already only 4 fouls away from that for Oregon, going to the free throw line after every foul.
Another turnover here. Good job by Asuma. Gives it over for Fox in transition, and now the Golden Gopher offense will slow down. Down low, Garcia, right hand swatted off the backboard, and that'll be a goaltend on Biddle. Garcia up to 18 points and has really been doing a lot of damage inside the arc. Really good pass there from Mike Mitchell, who found Garcia as he got behind Biddle. Angel beyond the arc, driving against Fox, gives it down low for Biddle. He kicks out, wide open 3 from the corner. Off too strong, and Parker Fox helps out Dawson Garcia and gets a rebound. Jaden Tracy let that one fly from the same spot he hit the one that started the half for the Ducks. 2-point lead for the Gophers, 48-46. Mitchell inside the arc off of a Fox screen, now gets it back outside. Drives into the paint. Garcia fakes a 3, drives in, gives it back. Otokale, another fake, drives in, slams it home! Femi Otokale with the dunk on the fake. Gophers up 4.
And that's the energizer that I think the Gophers needed there. Otokale just driving inside. Could have taken that 3, but knows he's not the best shooter from outside the arc.
Angel tries to answer back. His shot's missed. Another rebound by Parker Fox. Asuma gives for Mitchell, 50-46. Otokale outside the arc. Gives to Mitchell, inside, and a kickball on the play by Oregon. We'll have a break. 15:33 remaining in the second. Gophers up 4. We'll head to a timeout from the barn in Minneapolis. You're listening to Radio K Sports. Back here from the barn. Gophers lead 50-46. They've gotten 10 points from Parker Fox to go along with 8 rebounds. 6 of those offensively and 18 from Dawson Garcia on 8 for 13 shooting. That's exactly the recipe and exactly how you draw it up if you want to create a winning Golden Gopher game plan.
And I think as long as the Gophers stay out of this foul trouble that they found themselves in early, I think they'll be just fine in keeping this game close.
Garcia in the short corner. Drives against Angel. In the paint, throws up a left-handed prayer, and it goes in. Good roll there as Dawson Garcia above 20 once more. Shellstad against Asima, driving in, stops, puts up a off-balance one-handed shot, and that one finds its way in a similar way to Dawson Garcia's. Back to a 4-point contest. Odekale swings around for Mitchell and tried to give it back to Odekale. He's fouled on the play by TJ Bamba. That is his third. Oregon's first on the half. Boy, spending 5 minutes without a foul. Good job by the Ducks. Gophers will reset possession. Ben Johnson directing traffic. Asima drives in with speed, kicks out for Garcia. Working against Angel, wanted a step back, gets it back, and Angel fouled him on the drive. No bold fraud call there as Oregon picks up their second.
And that's what you want to see out of Garcia, just directing Asima to be able to give the give-and-go opportunity and gets the foul as Angel will check out of the game, which is very good news for the Gophers, him being their hottest shooter.
Inbound for Garcia. This possession's lasted a while as the Golden Gophers have picked up 2 fouls. Bit of an awkward 3-point fade or 2-point fadeaway. May have been a foul underneath the rim by Garcia is missed. 3 in transition is short. Another Parker Fox rebound on the 3 from Barthélemy. Odekale brings it up. Around a Fox screen. Posts up inside the arc. Tried to give it to Mitchell and now does. And that's going to be a travel against Odekale as him and Mitchell didn't coordinate. Did an in and out dribble kind of over the top and then was the next one to touch it. Turnover, Gophers.
And that's just Odekale. Since he's had those 2 early pull-up mid-rangers, just looked a little lost out there trying to run the point. Yet another turnover here for the Gophers early in the second half. They're up to 5 turnovers.
Kwame Evans sees some action, almost lost out of bounds by Shellstad. To Tracy. Tracy double team, back out for Shellstad. Ducks swinging it around the 3-point arc a lot here on this possession. Shot clock at 6. Fans on their feet, drive in and a kick out, kept in. 3-pointer from the corner is well off the mark. Shot clock expires as it didn't hit iron. And Oregon turns it over. Desperation heave there from Jaden Tracy. Does not find nylon. And the Golden Gophers will rebound.
That's the exact defensive kind of possession that the Gophers have been looking for here. As of recently, toward the end of the first half, almost everything was going for the Ducks as Shellstad's going to check out.
Asima, who's seen a lot of time in this game, gives down low for Garcia. Poked out of his hand, and he comes up with the loose ball, and now a kick ball. Evans kind of inadvertently hit his foot, and he's frustrated with himself. He might have had a turnover on the Golden Gopher leading scorer, but with 20 seconds left on the shot clock, Gophers will get it behind the out-of-bounds line.
And Dawson Garcia is liking that look when he's down on the left toward the baseline, just getting those drives and even pulling up on a couple of guys here.
Mitchell pulls up from 2-point range off the front of the rim. Parker Fox skied in for a rebound, but it was taken by the Ducks. Tracy. Barthélemy again around the arc. Drive in by Evans. He puts up a shot against Parker Fox and draws a foul. Shot does not go in. That's Fox's 4th team foul. Nobody coming on as Fox will stay on the floor with those 3 fouls.
Both teams have had no scoring in the last 2:07. Minnesota slightly longer on the scoring drought, 2:22, as Oregon will have a chance to get their first points in those 2 minutes and 7 seconds.
Evans 74% from the line and swishes the first one. 49-52. Gophers hanging on in a battle with the 15th ranked Ducks. Evans shooting towards a packed student section and makes the second one just as he did the first. 52-50. Asuma inbounds for Odekale. Picks up his dribble. Driving with the left hand against Moss. Moss playing some tight defense here against Odekale and slaps down, and Odekale draws a foul. Third on the team for Oregon. Moss's second.
Ben Johnson now talking with Odekale as he used 13 seconds and really had no way out of that if he hadn't gotten that foul called.
Odekale once more. Gives for Garcia, watched by Evans. Fake to pull up, faked again. Almost sold Evans on it. Now we'll try and dribble drive. That doesn't go. Asuma kicks out. 3 seconds on the shot clock. Odekale fires too far and rebounded by Barthélemy. Pass ahead for Evans. Drives in, stuffed by Dawson Garcia. Great defense by number 3 in the maroon and gold. Odekale alone at the free throw line, puts it up off the front of the rim, off the backboard, and drops. Barthélemy's been playing the majority of this game for the Oregon Ducks. He's guarded up top by Garcia. And an offensive foul down low going against Supreme Cook as he hooked Parker Fox underneath the rim. Fourth foul against the Ducks. Cook's second. We'll head to a break. 54-50, Golden Gophers will have the ball when we return from the barn in downtown Minneapolis. And we're back from downtown Minneapolis. 54-50 lead for the Gophers. They haven't hit a three-pointer this half yet, and we're almost halfway through the second. The last one was Lakai Patterson as the shot clock was expiring near the end of the first. They've been doing a lot of damage from inside the arc. 22 of 41 from the field, over 50% still, but Oregon also over 50%. They're 18 of 35.
Yeah, for the most part, it's the Gophers taking what they've been given, but really slow offensively for both teams in this second half. The Gophers have 12 points in the half. The Ducks have 12 points in the half. The Gophers have 10.
Patterson again slows it down, finds Odekale. Gophers play a bit of catch above the arc. Mitchell into the game. That is Frank Mitchell. And Gophers 5 seconds on the shot clock. 3 is away from Mitchell, short, and rebounded by Tracy. And the Gophers' three-point shooting struggles after that hot start continue. Jaden Tracy checks in for the Ducks once again. He feeds Bamba, who gives it to Biddle. Drives against Garcia. He puts up a shot. Garcia stuffs him again. Garcia with an outstanding defensive play. Now Lakai Patterson on the fast break. Kicks out. Mitchell drives in. Short pass for Frank Mitchell. Beneath the rim, throws one up. And I don't know if Biddle got a piece of that. But the Ducks come ahead, and that's going to be a charge. Defensive foul will go against Femi Odekale on the strong drive from TJ Bamba.
Hey, Dawson Garcia getting another block on Biddle. Biddle still has no points. He's averaged 13.6 on the season. The Gophers have contained him as Bamba's going to go to the line here.
On the season, 72%. Makes the first one. Oregon's been doing that very well throughout this game. They're shooting about 80% from the line. Good enough for 80% on the dot, 8 for 10. His second also drains it. It's a 2-point contest. Gophers with 5 fouls in the half. Ducks with 4. Looks like Bartholomew tried to sell a foul there, and the student section gave him a little ribbing for that. Patterson for Garcia, working against Angel. Is double teamed down there, trying to look for a pass. Can't find it, now gives it to Mitchell. 7 on the shot clock. Mitchell driving in, kick out. Odekale standing still, shot clock expiring, has to put up a prayer, missed everything.
And just what I don't understand is Odekale is going in toward the free throw line where there's 3, if not 4 Ducks waiting there for him, trying to find an open shot, and it's just not going to be there, especially if you sit and wait to drive until there's 2 seconds on the shot clock.
And that one especially, Odekale actually had a decent look on the free throw jumper. Didn't even give the Gophers an opportunity to get an offensive rebound and breathe some life back into what has been a stagnant offense in the second half. Down low for Biddle. It's poked away by Mitchell. And Mitchell will draw a foul.
That's going to be the 6th foul on the Gophers with just over 10 to go in the half. And Oregon's almost in the bonus already. They'll get one more inbound, and then they'll be at the line.
It's Mike Mitchell's first. And Oregon's going to head into the bonus pretty soon. This could turn the tide of the game in favor of the Ducks if it stays this way. Angel drives against Mitchell. He caught him in the air, and his left-hand layup is pure. Tie ball game.
That's the first field goal for the Ducks in 5 minutes. And yet we still have a tie game. The Gophers have not scored in the last 2:11. They're only scoring coming
from Garcia.
From Garcia, really.
Mitchell gives for Patterson. Looked like he wanted a 3. Passes it up. His 2-pointer. Bangerang. Leads back up to 2. Drive in for Biddle. He kicks out once more for Bamba. Bamba's tried to step back against Mitchell. Mitchell hounding him defensively. Left hand rattles home. Tied up once again, 56 all. 9:08 and counting. Lakai Patterson gives to Mitchell. Wants a dribble drive, almost lost it. Mike Mitchell at the free throw line, drives in, tried to find Mitchell alone down low with the right hand, soft touch. 58-56 as these teams starting to open things up offensively. Three-pointer Angel off the mark, and we're gonna have a foul on the floor. I don't know who that's gonna go against. On Mike Mitchell, his second personal, team 7th, so now Oregon in the bonus for the rest of the game. That'll send Biddle to the line. He still has not yet scored, missed his only free throw opportunity this afternoon. 79% from the line. Missed it again. Biddle still without points in the contest. And the Gophers hang on to their 2-point lead. Odekale's got to hurry up on offense and start moving the ball around the arc, looking for an open man. Gets it back from Fox. From the free throw line, off the right side of the rim and out. Jaden Tracy from beyond the arc, working against Odekale. Now 8:10 remaining in the second. Barthélemy trying to work across a couple screens. Biddle, long pass across. Good defense by Odekale on the drive and stolen by the Golden Gophers. Lakai Patterson winds up with a loose ball. Slow it down against Barthélemy. Up to Fox, who's been working from the point a lot here in the second half, has been held scoreless. Fox drives in and draws contact, and Biddle will take his third personal. And Fox will head to the line. Oregon's 5th with 7:42 remaining in the second half. Gophers up 2. Fox shooting free throws. When we return, Serb will be back on the broadcast from downtown Minneapolis. You're listening to Radio K Sports.
Welcome back inside Williams Arena as we have what was an offensive battle now turned defensive as the Gophers lead the number 15 Oregon Ducks 58-56 with 7:42 left in the game. Parker Fox will start at the line here for the Gophers. Shooting just under 50% on the season from the line. Excuse me, 56%. First one is up and off the back of the rim. Really, the story of this second half has been just defense, defense, defense for Oregon. Really not letting Minnesota get going, as Femi Odekale's been on the point and really has not been able to create any offense for the Gophers. Second free throw is up and off the same exact spot. Shellstad will control. Up now to Bamba on the left wing, working on Odekale. Swings up top, back to Shellstad. He'll drive in on Parker Fox under the basket. Corner three. Brandon Angel, no good. Odekale gets the rebound.
Skied up for that one.
Odekale now controls. So the Gophers try to pick up a little momentum on offense with that Oregon strong 3-2 zone. Patterson now toward the right wing, working on Barthélemy. Swings it over to Odekale. Wants Garcia inside, working on Evans. He'll go to work with 7 on the shot clock. Toward the top to Odekale, back outside to Garcia. His three is up. Bang! The Gophers finally get a three-pointer to go. First one of the half. With 6:47 and counting, the Gophers take a 5-point lead here. Shellstad now has it for the Ducks. Swings it over to Bamba, working on Odekale. He's going to drive inside. Tries to get it up, and they're going to call the foul on Odekale, much to the dismay of my partner here right next to me and of the crowd.
Right in front of the student section. I thought Bamba sold that a little bit with a head tilt. Odekale went up strong.
He was losing control, Bamba was. Just kind of flies into Odekale to get that.
Third foul on Odekale.
Fox, Patterson, and Odekale now up to 3 fouls. As Bamba makes the first, 61-57 now. The lead for the Gophers with 6:36 left and one more free throw coming.
The free throw differential is going to be 14-10 after this. The Gophers, however, just 5 for 10. Oregon 10 for 13, pending Bamba's second.
Foul disparity as the second one goes in. 8 fouls on the Gophers, 5 on the Ducks in the half. So Oregon continues with this full court press. Patterson will get it into Osama, who will take his time coming up the court. Working on Shellstad, who's been playing some fantastic defense today on the point guards for the Gophers. Osama dancing around, 15 on the shot clock. Like to see them get something going as Garcia tried to get out but tripped. Parker Fox driving inside, gets inside with the hammer behind the back. Parker Fox up to 12 points and 9 rebounds. One heck of a game for the senior. Bamba now inside for the Ducks. Swings it back up top toward the logo for Shellstad. Crowd getting into it. Shellstad trying a little shake and bake, kicks it over to Angel, working on Garcia, gets inside. Blocked by Garcia. Patterson will get it for the Gophers, bring it up the court toward the right wing, working on Bamba. Feeds inside for Garcia, getting double teamed. Swings all the way around for Osama, and they're going to call an offensive foul on Parker Fox as he tried to screen Evans from getting over to Osama. Garcia was down on the right side, swings it all the way around to the left wing for Osama, and they're going to call the foul on Fox as he tried to box out Evans.
That's just a tragic foul there because Osama made the three-pointer.
The lead will remain 5. Shellstad working on Garcia, getting inside, throws up a floater, can't get it to go. Garcia with some great defense on the small 6-footer, using all 11 inches of that advantage to get him to miss. And Ben Johnson will take timeout as the Gophers lead by 5 with 5:18 to go. The crowd giving them a standing ovation. You're listening to Radio K Sports. Welcome back here to Minneapolis as the Minnesota Golden Gophers lead the Oregon Ducks 63-58. Something important to note, Parker Fox, although he did just get his 4th foul and will head to the bench, he has officially got a double-double on the day, 12 points and 10 rebounds. He will be replaced by Frank Mitchell. The Gophers with 13 seconds. Odakali taking his time here as the Gophers try to get a bucket and add to this lead here. Garcia working on Shellstead, swings it over to Mitchell. Odakali, 2 to shoot. He'll put up a 3. Doesn't even hit anything again. Man, the Gophers keep giving it to Odakali toward the end of the shot clock, and he just cannot convert any of them.
And at some point, they're going to have to start swinging the rock, moving it. They can't be content being up 5 against the Ducks and operating that slowly. They've got to get some motion going, get some high screen and rolls, just get the ball to somebody else.
You know, it's like to see Patterson back on the point. It's TJ Bamba working on Garcia. He's going to do a little step back toward the right wing. Doesn't take it. Barthélemy now at the top of the key, working on Mike Mitchell. 12 left on the shot clock for the Ducks. Bamba with it again, top of the key, step back 3 over Garcia, in and out. Patterson gets the rebound for the Gophers.
Got to push the tempo.
4:24 remaining in the game, 20 on the shot clock as the Gophers are still outside on the top of the key. Man, it's incredible to see the pace of offense. As we get inside, Mike Mitchell fed it in for Frank Mitchell, and it gets blocked by Bamba. And they're going to call the foul on the other end on Patterson. That was Shellstad who got in on transition, and the crowd is absolutely irate. That is the 10th foul now on the Gophers. I'd like to see that replay on both the block and on the other end. Frank Mitchell got inside. It looked like he might have gotten hacked by Bamba, but it goes uncalled. As we get a look at the replay here, it looks like Patterson got all ball. Oregon catches a break as Shellstad makes the first free throw. I know us as announcers are supposed to be unbiased, but holy smokes. Shellstad's second is good, and the lead's down to 3 with 4:10 remaining.
If you're the Gophers, you got to take this game out of the hands of the referees by driving the basket with hard drives. Although Biddle's on the floor, he's going to really cause the Gophers to think about driving the rack.
The Gophers once again are in another scoring drought of over almost 2.5 minutes as Mike Mitchell will take a long 2. Frank Mitchell gets the offensive rebound as it was off. Patterson now in the corner, getting trapped by 2 people, gets out of it. Up by the Cambria Court logo, working on Shellstad, who's been quite an amazing defender. Patterson with the long 2, can't get it to go. Put back flush by Odakali. The Gophers retake a 5-point lead.
Offensive rebounding. The Gophers have done a pretty good job at it without Fox on the floor.
10-3 in favor of the Gophers on offensive rebounds as Shellstad swings it over to Barthélemy. Wanted a 3, swings it over to Bamba instead. Swings inside for Angel, loses it. 8 on the shot clock for the Ducks. Bamba will try again. Wanted Biddle, and the Gophers get a turnover. The Ducks threw it away as Biddle, who has been quite off all night, is not on the same page with Bamba. And the Gophers will have the ball after a timeout with 2:59 left. 65-60, Minnesota leads. You're listening to Radio K Sports. Welcome back to Minneapolis as your Minnesota Golden Gophers lead the 15th ranked Oregon Ducks 65-60 with 2:59 to play. Jack, how about that Gopher offense?
I don't know, Tim. I need to see something different. I got to see the ball out of Femi Odekale's hands. Put it with your best player. Give it to number 3. Let him work against Angel. He's gotten his way past number 21, and Angel's going to pick up a foul on the play as the inbound pass didn't find Garcia. Oregon's 6th and Angel's 2nd.
That was Odekale on the inbound, and he'll be the inbound man again. As I was saying on the break to Jack, I just don't want to see Odekale bringing up the ball at all. I want to see Patterson or Garcia dictating the offense. They're the ones who can score. Garcia trying to get past half court, and they're going to call Shellstad on, I believe, his second foul.
But that's a big one because it puts the Gophers in the bonus, and that's 2 silly fouls from the Ducks on not shooting plays, and you put the Golden Gophers in the bonus and give their best free throw shooter a 1-and-1.
Yeah, Shellstad's been playing really aggressive defense, really just getting up on whoever has the ball. As Garcia's first free throw is off the front, off the backboard, and good. Garcia in these past few games has been really clutch from the free throw line. As the Gophers take a 6-point lead here. Second one is up and good. Gophers are up 67-60, 7-point lead over the Ducks. The crowd getting extremely loud now. Shellstad, open 3, gets it to go. Oregon will call a timeout here, 2:45 remaining, and that is the answer they needed.
Yeah, Patterson was just too slow to close out off of a screen and gave a wide open look to Shellstad, who does not miss. He's 2 for 2 from beyond the arc with 12 points.
Yeah, and Patterson, a bigger guy as a guard, just not able to shed that screen quick enough, and Shellstad able to capitalize. As the Gophers lead by 4 here, 2:45, 67-63. And going back to what you said, Jack, those 2 fouls the Ducks committed on the inbound, putting Minnesota in the bonus. They were only at 5 fouls for most of the half. I don't think they had a foul in the first 10 minutes. And now the Gophers have a chance to get to the line every single time they foul.
And they're, again, like I said, they're fouling Dawson Garcia. That's 2 hustle plays by Garcia on both inbounds passes and then bringing it up, just winning a battle against Shellstad on the mismatch as the Ducks press again.
Gophers once again have to inbound. They inbound to Parker Fox. Fox still with the ball, dribbling up the court. Hands off to Patterson toward the Cambria logo on the right wing. Gophers still deciding to slow it down and trying to take as much time off the clock as possible. They'll need to capitalize on this offensive possession as Garcia's going to drive in on Angel. Little spin move. Shot's good. Garcia puts it in. Dawson Garcia now up to 27 points. That is exactly what you want to see out of the big man.
Man, spin move and the left hand floater is pure as Angel's a little shaken up on the play.
Yeah, Angel's been the primary matchup on Garcia as Biddle's not been too much of a factor or getting too many minutes for the Ducks. And Garcia's just been going to work on him today. 11 for 17 from the field, being one of his more efficient games that I've ever seen from him. 11 for 17, 3 for 5 from beyond the arc, 2 for 2 from the free throw line. There's not really a part of his game. His game. In the barn as Oregon will inbound the ball, down 6. Shelstad working on Patterson toward the right wing, swings it over to Bamba. He's going to go across the court to and inside to Tracy. Tries to get it up, and they're going to call a foul on Dawson Garcia. It looked like he was set, but Tracy barely draws the foul. It's his 3rd foul on
that's
Garcia.
on Mitchell.
Oh, they're going to call it on Mitchell. He tried to back up into him. He tries to swat the ball. It looked like he might have caught some of the arm. And Jadrian Tracy will go to the line for 2. Makes the first. Lead down to 5 with 2:02 remaining. Parker Fox getting ready to check back in right away for Isaac Osama.
I think that's a great move by Ben Johnson. Check Parker Fox out on the defensive side of things when he can't pick up his 5th foul, and then put him right back into the lineup.
Second free throw is good. The lead is down to 4 once again. Inbound to Otakali. You want to see him get rid of it. Not like that as Oregon gets it. Shelstad easily. 3-pointer was attempted by Barthélemy, but it doesn't go, and Mike Mitchell's going to get the rebound, but that could have been very bad for the Gophers.
Catastrophic even.
Patterson will take it up on Shelstad now. Swings it to Parker Fox, who gets hit by, looks like it was Biddle. And Parker Fox will go to the line for a 1-and-1. And boy, are these some big free throws as Biddle picks up his 4th foul.
Team's 8th. And I think the strategy for Oregon, if Biddle's going to pick up that foul anyways, with 1:40 left, fouling Fox is a good option. They're still in the 1-and-1. See if Fox can come through.
Biddle, Oregon's leading scorer, still has no points as Parker Fox makes the first free throw. How clutch is that from the senior? Yeah, Nate Biddle coming in averaging 13.6 points, no points, 1 assist and 3 rebounds. His biggest tally is 4 fouls as Parker Fox's second free throw is up and no good off the left side of the rim. Shelstad pushing the pace down the court, getting inside over Parker Fox, and they're going to call the foul. Oh, no.
And Parker Fox will foul out of the game. You have to know if you're Parker Fox, you got to let him have that.
Oh, no. Goes up for the block and just runs straight into Shelstad. And that's almost a stupid foul as Parker Fox, with one heck of a performance today, 13 points, 11 rebounds, but he will foul out. And Isaac Osman will be back into the game as Shelstad makes his and 1. The lead is down to 2, 70-68 with 1:33 remaining. They're going to call a foul on, is that Isaac Osama as they tried to inbound it? Shelstad looked like he might have flopped almost. So that is now, I believe, the 12th foul called on the Gophers. That's their 21st of the game. And Oregon will get an inbound with a chance to tie, if not take the lead for the second time today. Shelstad on the left wing. The crowd getting into it once again. Just under 1:30 to play. Shelstad step back 3, no good. And Oregon's going to get it back with an offensive rebound as it bounced off the front of the rim. Oh, They're going to call the charge as Bamba got inside. Garcia sets his feet, knocks over the lay, went in, but it's going to be an offensive foul as the crowd is happy to hear that. That's his 4th foul on Bamba as Dawson Garcia, the ref's saying that they should be inbounding it. If I'm not mistaken, should be free throws on the other end. Unless my basketball knowledge is not up to P here.
Minute 15 left, and that's a captain level play there from Dawson Garcia to set his feet as Bamba, who has dominated the Gophers inside, comes barreling down the lane, bowls over Garcia, and he draws the charge. That's Oregon's 9th foul, so one more will put the Gophers in the double bonus. Gophers with 1 timeout left, Oregon with 2.
And that's just a real break for the Gophers there that the refs gave them that call. They've not been getting much of them this half as Oregon got that offensive rebound, had a chance to once again tie or take the lead, and the Gophers will get the ball.
On that step back by Shellstad, he heaved it up from 29 feet beyond the arc. And from our vantage point, that looked
well
to
short.
be right, or it looked to me, just because we don't have depth of view, I thought he had put it in. But it bounced off the front of the rim, and Gophers weren't able to come up with the offensive rebound, but get the ball back. And they will have to inbound.
That's been a problem all night for the Gophers. Oregon's been pressing since, gosh, about 3 minutes into the game. That's about 37 minutes straight of pressing. And Gophers getting plenty of rebound work as they'll go all 5 guys toward the end line. Here, Odakali sets a rebound. They all go out like a football play. They'll inbound to Mike Mitchell. The Ducks surround him. Gets it up court to Odakali. Dawson Garcia now takes the ball. He'll take his time with 1:05 remaining. Jumping around, working on Biddle. Over to Mike Mitchell. Back to Garcia. 13 left on the shot clock. He'll drive inside. Gets the lay to go. Dawson Garcia puts himself past Biddle and gives the Gophers a 2-possession lead with 50 seconds and counting remaining. Inside to Angel. He'll work in on Patterson. Patterson's got to be careful.
That's on Mitchell.
They're going to call a foul on Mitchell. Luckily, wasn't able to drive in. Angel was on Patterson because he could have fouled out, but that's Mike Mitchell's 4th foul now. He's the 3rd Gopher in foul trouble. Parker Fox already fouling out, and now Mitchell and Patterson with 4 as Angel will go to the line. Angel so far today, 4 for 5 from the line with 17 points. His first one is up and good.
And if this game goes to overtime, the Gophers are in serious, serious trouble. With Fox already out and Mitchell and Patterson with 4 fouls, Ben Johnson might have to use his entire bench if Oregon can force the extra session.
Yeah, Osama and Odakali also have 3 fouls. As the second free throw misses and Osama gets the rebound. Oregon decides not to foul here because there's still just under 40 seconds, and they will foul now. Jadrian Tracy fouls Patterson, a very good 3-point shooter. That's his
first foul
of the night for Tracy. It'll be Lakai Patterson at the line. Patterson's shooting 75% from the free throw line on the year. So he will get 2 fouls, that being Oregon's 10th foul. First one is up and good. We have a 2-possession game, 73-69. Still 1 free throw left. 38 seconds on the clock.
It's going to come down to who from Oregon can step up and hit a 3, and as these last couple of games have shown, Golden Gophers from the stripe.
Patterson now with the second free throw up and off the back of the rim. Gosh, and that's what he did at the end of the Michigan game too. Allowed Michigan to tie it back up. Oh, Shellstad, they missed a travel. Oh my goodness, as he slipped and fell, and Oregon keeps it. Boy, what a mess on offense. Bartholomew now has the ball, driving it on Mitchell, who has to be careful, and the Gophers get a turnover. Looked like Garcia stripped him, and maybe Mike Mitchell, but Mitchell gets fouled. And the Gophers will have 2 more free throws with 18.3 remaining.
Another great defensive play by the Golden Gophers. A complete mess from Oregon, as Shellstad might have gotten away with the travel. Bamba may have gotten away with an offensive push-off. He slid it for Barthélemy, who picks up just his first foul. But again, the Golden Gophers turn an Oregon scramble on offense, and their switch defense has been so clutch down the stretch, being able to mix these matchups, and just sloppy play from Oregon, their 11th turnover.
What's going to be notable is that was actually TJ Bamba they're going to call the foul on, meaning he has fouled out a huge piece of Oregon's offense, as Nate Biddle will come back in, still with 0 points today. .3 left in the game. Mike Mitchell's first free throw is up and good. 74-69, 5-point lead for the Gophers. Man, Bamba being out is going to be a huge hit for Oregon, as he was probably the guy you'd want. As Mike Mitchell makes the second, the Gophers are up 6 with 18.3 remaining. Shellstad will bring it up the court. Trying to drive inside, and it's taken away by the Gophers. Dawson Garcia up, slams with the right, and the Gophers have put the dagger on number 15 Oregon. Tracy's going to take a 3, and Minnesota takes its second ranked win home. First time with back-to-back wins since the 2020 COVID season, and Minnesota knocks off number 15 Oregon.
The students and a much healthier student section storming the court as the Gophers continue their persistent momentum, 77-69 over the visiting Oregon Ducks, riding a hot start, keeping the lead for the majority of the rest of the game. And they knock off another ranked opponent.
Boy, Minnesota is on a heater. 3 straight wins now, including 2 over-ranked teams, beating Michigan on Thursday, Iowa on Tuesday, and now number 15 Oregon with a final score of 77-69. What a performance from the Gophers today.
And just well-rounded is what the word that I would use to describe this entire game as we roll into our Radio K postgame show. A well-rounded effort from the Golden Gophers, led as always Dawson Garcia. 31 points, 13 of 19 from the field, 3 for 5 from beyond the arc, hit both his free throws, and really put together an amazing performance. I had almost no notes for number 3 in maroon and gold. Femi Odekale, even though he struggled in the middle, still ended up in double digits with 10. Parker Fox, my pregame prediction to kind of light a fire under this Gopher squad, 5 for 7 from the field with 13 points. Lakai Patterson with 11. Even Mike Mitchell, who started the game out hot for the Golden Gophers with 8, and those 2 critical early buckets to get the Gophers up. And really the key to the game was starting hot and keeping the crowd in the game. You could probably hear it on the entire broadcast of how well the Golden Gophers were playing, how packed the crowd was as the students storm the court and celebrate with the Golden Gophers their 3rd consecutive Big Ten win. Finally, it's something for this program to hang their hat on, and they've got some serious momentum heading into what will be their most difficult contest in East Lansing against the Michigan State Spartans.
Yeah, and just the Gophers, after starting 0-6, it was looking very bleak. Then you come in, end of winter break against Michigan, get really a program-defining win. And then they're able to back it up with 2 more, including another ranked win here again against Oregon. And man, if you talk about a performance from your number 1 guy, I mean, putting up 31 is pretty decent if you ask me.
And just looking up and down the stat sheet, the Gophers out-rebounded Oregon by 9, 35-26. They had a ton of offensive rebounds Parker Fox alone had 6 of them. They had 10 as a team, just getting those second chance opportunities. And because of that, they put up 9 more shots than the Oregon Ducks did. Didn't shoot particularly well, but we were asking for a little bit more from beyond the arc. 6 for 16 for 37.5%. That's still above their season average. The Ducks shoot just 48% from the field and 34% from three-point range, but the turnover stat was, again, right along the season average. Ducks turn it over 12 times, Gophers turn it over 10. Some of their players get in foul trouble, but Ben Johnson's use of the bench early on in the game, I think, did wonders for the rest of the game. Really set things up and helped the Golden Gophers stay out of foul trouble as long as they could, even though they picked up 22 as a team. Staying out of foul trouble until really crunch time when Fox fouled out was a huge help late on in this one.
Yeah, and Patterson and Mitchell on those last couple of possessions were able to stay out of foul contention because they were both at 4 fouls. As the Gophers get some key turnovers late in the game, Oregon had 12 turnovers, which is right around their average per game. But Minnesota was just able to take advantage and get fouled right at the end of the game as Oregon was in the bonus, and Minnesota able to take advantage of those.
And another stat that jumps off the page, the Gophers had 22 assists as a team. That's much higher than their season average of around 15, but 22 assists means that they were at least moving the rock relatively well, even though we saw the offense kind of go asleep for the first part of the second half and a lack of creativity. They were swinging the rock around and able to find open men for those assists. And I think this just boils down to, as Dawson Garcia, the man of the hour, celebrates in front of the students who are still on the court, it comes down to how well Dawson Garcia played. And he has truly transformed himself into one of the best players in the Big Ten these last, call it 4 or 5 games. He's really embraced his role as a senior on this team, as a leader, and as the guy you want the ball in his hands if the game's on the line. And I think the Golden Gophers now know that.
Yeah, and it's really, honestly, I think just a mentality thing for him. He's always had the ability. Now he really just has the build and just the confidence in himself to go in and just use his wide 230-pound, 6'11" frame to just go in and play bully ball, really, against Christian Angel, who was his defender primarily for most of the night. But what I really want to point out from Garcia is that he was 3 for 5 from the beyond the arc. One of his best clips of the season, 60%. He was just unafraid to shoot the ball all day, unafraid to drive, unafraid of defense. Had some very good blocks on Nate Biddle. And honestly, one of the things that, if you're Oregon, you need to take a look at is Nate Biddle. Biddle came in as your leading scorer, your number 1 option, the guy you want to get the ball, and comes in against Minnesota and scores no points on 0 for 3 from the field, missed both of his free throws, which were 1-and-1 opportunities, and had 4 fouls.
In 24 minutes, nonetheless. So that's a testament to the Gophers' deterrence, especially under the rim. And I think what they really did against Biddle that helped out a lot, they were playing in front of him almost the entire time. They would let Biddle get as close to the rim as he wanted. But Garcia or Mitchell or really whoever was on him, they played in front. So the Oregon offensive and the kind of the point guards couldn't lob it over the top because the Gophers had enough length to defend that, and Biddle couldn't just get the ball and back smaller guys down into the paint where he's done a lot of his damage this season. So I think going forward, the teams playing against Oregon might have a similar recipe to defending the Ducks. If you can take Biddle out of their offensive game plan, he picked up 4 fouls in the game. He did have 3 blocks, which is impressive. But if you can take him out, Shellstad and Bamba and Angel all had double figures, 15, 15, and 18 down the stat sheet. But if you're going to take away their inside the arc penetration with Biddle, that's a huge benefit for the teams going forward defensively.
Yeah, and one final thing I want to touch on here, Jack, as the Gophers head into their next matchup against number 8 Michigan State in East Lansing. What have you seen these last 3 games that you think the Gophers can use to really try and keep it much closer than the last time they played, with a 20-point victory here for the Spartans, just to be able to slow their offense down and maybe even win?
I think getting off to a fast start in this game, obviously, that was a bit crazy as the Gophers found themselves up 17 at one point in the first half. Getting off to a quick start and not losing their offensive firepower, their offensive identity throughout the season has really been methodical. Work it up, draw some screens, draw contact, and find an open man for a shot or a Dawson Garcia drive-in. I think against Michigan State, who is a really speedy team, they're going to have to play fast on offense. And even if that means maybe taking a couple not great shot opportunities, that might be what they have to do if they want to go, especially if they want to go to East Lansing and knock off a team that finds themselves in the top 10. But this is Big Ten basketball. The Gophers were written off before this stretch of 3 games as the basement of the Big Ten. And after 3 wins, the fans are back in it. Coaches around the league are put on notice that this Gopher team isn't going to quit.
Yeah, and that's really just the key for me is when we played Michigan State the first time, there just wasn't much belief of anybody on the court that we could beat them. But after you get 2 ranked wins against Michigan and Oregon, I feel like you go in there with just a little more confidence. I mean, Michigan State absolutely killed the Gophers in transition last time. Gophers playing very sloppy. I believe they had close to 15 turnovers in that 20-point blowout. But just being able to keep on the offensive side of the ball, trust that they have the guys who can make the shots. I mean, that first half was just an offensive slugfest between these 2 teams here. Just, I have faith in the Gophers. It's a dangerous thing to have as a Minnesota sports fan,
it is.
But I have faith in the Gophers.
We can take the victories as they come. So for Tim Serb, I'm Jack Bartlett saying thank you, everybody, for listening to another edition of Golden Gopher Basketball, a 77-69 court-storming win over the visiting Oregon Ducks. We'll be back on Radio K Sports with some hockey broadcasts on the 31st and the 1st of February against the visiting Wisconsin Badgers. Hopefully Gopher hockey team can pull things back together after an embarrassing loss against the Michigan State Spartans. Signing off, thank you everybody for listening. Thanks for tuning in. It's been a great call up here from the barn and downtown Minneapolis. Thanks. Good night.